Welcome everyone to another Thursday evening of Zenith Online Racing for Tier 2. We're going to be coming to you from round 12, the British Grand Prix here at Silverstone, hoping for a nice sunny qualifying and race session for the Tier 2 boys. I know they get a lot of rain, but it's me, Iro Packer, commentating once again, and alongside me is going to be Camden. How's it going, Camden?
Doing great. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing pretty well. Again, very, very excited for this British Grand Prix. Silverstone always seems to put up a very, very good race, as it did in Tier 1. Not so much for myself, sadly. I know you had a good race on Monday. I believe you got a podium.
Yeah, finished in the top three. Had a great battle with Ryan throughout the race, and it was really good for me. Like you mentioned, you had your troubles, but you still got a solid finish out of it. So I think we both had a good race for the most part.
Yeah, I finished down in 5th place. Aerostrike, my championship rival, finishing in 2nd. So the championship lead is going to be tied going into the next race, which is going to be at the Hungaroring for round 13 on Monday. But back to Tier 2 now, as we do have a very, very nice championship battle here. Alt Maverick in the Haas on 151 points, and Scavney in the McLaren on 148. They're only separated by 3 points. And then you have Puff Digital, or the two Ferrari boys, Puff Digital on 99 and or actually Arbiga, sorry, Arbiga on 99 and Puff Digital on 95, and then you have Soy Loco in the Williams on 83, and then the two Red Bulls of Sam M and Bark School on 78 points, and then the Racing Point of RC in 63, and then a big gap back to the other Williams of Terminal Deity, and then Jinnit on 33 points. I believe this is Jinnit's third or fourth race here in Tier 2, his first race in France, the full wet conditions for most of the race. And then you have the two Alphas separated by only 2 points of JMG on 28 and Mr. Baboon in 26, and then the two Mercs, Eric tied with Mr. Baboon on points on 26, and then Lit Romney on 19, and then Wolfsburg, who is streaming on Twitch, you guys should go check him out, on 12 points in the Haas, and then Niebuhr and Hightower, no points in the Renault and the McLaren, the McLaren and the Renault respectively, as we do have Mr. Baboon coming to start the first lap of tonight, but we do have 3 open seats in the Alpha Tauris, and the other Renault. But yes, Mr. Baboon is coming to a lap. He's going to be coming through turn 1, which is Abbey, and then through turn 2, which is the farm curve. Now, the most important corner in this first sector is turn 3. It's going to be Village. You want to go all the way back to the right side for the loop, having a little bit of a lockup there into turn 4. Traction is absolutely crucial here, and then through Aintree and onto the Wellington Straight. This is the first of the 2 DRS zones here at Silverstone, and now to a very, very important corner for Brooklyn's, the first corner of the middle sector. Again, a little bit of a lockup, but I'm going to be expecting that from most drivers. Now through Luffield, this corner is so difficult on traction in the line. You can take so many lines through there, and then through Woodcote, which isn't even really a corner. It's flat out, absolutely no turning at all, and then through Cops, which should be flat this year, and it is for Mr. Baboon in the Alfa Romeo, not even using that much of a exit curve. Now through Maggots, Beckett's, and Chapel, the fastest section on the track, flat, and then a little downshift to 7th, and then should be going down to 5th or 6th gear, which he does go down to 5th, and then through the left-hander of Chapel, now crossing the middle sector split. He is purple on a 1 and 2.5, not bad, as he is the first person on a lap. The Merc will have to get out of the way through Stowe, turn 15. That looked pretty nice. Could have carried a little bit more speed, but this is a banker. Now going through the Vale chicane, having a little bit of a lockup there into turn 16. Now turn 17, absolutely crucial for traction to finish out your lap strong. And then coming through Club and across the start-finish straight is going to be a 26.2 for Mr. Baboon.
Yeah, that's not a bad first lap. I can imagine that will be overtaken pretty shortly, but that's a good base lap. He did have a few lockups, but overall didn't make many big mistakes. Looks like RC and now Maverick to the top of the charts with a 126.0, so I can imagine we'll see a lot of 125s really soon.
Yeah, as Alt Maverick does go on a 26 flat, I believe, as you said. Now you have the second racing point of Jinnit on the mediums coming through Club as it actually spins. As I mentioned earlier, it's going to be very, very difficult on traction there. A few cars coming to the line. I believe there's a Red Bull of Sam. Sam actually going pole on a 25.9. So as you said, 25s are definitely possible, and Sam does prove that in the Red Bull, going provisional pole position with 13:30 left in the short quali session.
Yeah, Sam's done really well the last couple of weeks in qualifying. I believe in Austria he qualified on the pole. So he's been doing really well recently, and we have our first time in the 125s.
Yeah, as Wolfsburg and Jenner are both in the 141s. I believe they have made mistakes on their medium lap. We did see IRO Dylan do a 24, I think it was an 8 on Monday in qualifying on the mediums. An absolutely insane lap time from him. I don't think we'll see anyone in the 24s even on the softs here tonight, but let Romney go in P5 on a 26.6. That's a pretty good lap from the man in the Mercedes.
Yeah. And we do have confirmation that this will be a dry race, so drivers won't have to worry about the wets. So yeah, I think that makes things a little more calm for these drivers, but I think this will be very interesting. Not many more people coming out for a lap right now, though.
Yeah, it should be a pretty straightforward session for these guys, as Terminal Deity looks to be on a lap, even though he seems to be pretty low on fuel here. Coming through cops, he actually invalidated, so he's going to go into the pit lane. It looked like he was pushing, as Puff Digital should be the next one on a lap, as actually he's invalid as well. Then it's Jinnah on the mediums. He's also invalid. I believe he was doing another lap, but he did have his ERS turned up. Sam M coming to the pits, and then Mr. Wolfsburg coming through the final two corners. He's going to be finishing a lap here on the mediums, very, very low on ERS. He's going to be derating just a little bit to the line. He's going to improve by 13.1 seconds and go on a 28 flat into P8 behind RC. He's on the softs, Wolfsburg on the mediums, the highest medium runner so far through this qualifying session.
Yeah, and you mentioned before that we've had some laps getting invalidated. There's a couple of sections on the track where that's pretty possible. I think of turn 9. I think it's easy to go a little bit wide there, and once you do, your lap is over. It'll invalidate your lap. Obviously, Maggots and Beckett's, it's very easy to slightly cut a corner there. But I don't think it's as bad as last week. Austria was very bad with invalidated laps, but there's still a couple of areas on this track where it is very hard to keep all four wheels on the track, especially when you're giving it 110% in qualifying.
Yeah, most definitely, as we do have Scavney coming through turn 4, the loop, and accelerating now out into the Wellington straight. Ooh, a little bit of a slide there out of the loop, just getting on that exit curb now, coming down into Brooklands, braking just before or at that 50-meter board. And going to go down to third gear, interestingly enough. Now through Luffield, you really don't want to lock a front into here because it'll just completely ruin any momentum you have. Now going up 6th, 7th gear through Woodcut, turn 8, now onto turn 9 Cops. This corner in previous years has been very, very on the border of flat, but now it is flat on in this year's specs.
Looking pretty solid from Scavney so far. We'll see what he can do. He's heading down the DRS straight, about to enter Stowe right now. I can imagine he'll start up front. He's obviously one of the top guys in the championship right now, but we'll see what kind of a time he puts up.
Yeah, now coming into the final 3 corners of Vale, and then turn 17, and now through turn 18 Club. This one's flat as well. We did have Magnussen and Albon coming together there in the actual race, and he's going to go on a 26-1, just about 2 tenths off of pole. Actually, 3 tenths. No. My math isn't too great, but we're just going to ignore that. As Soy Loco actually does go pole. He's been pretty strong from what I can remember in previous races, as we do have Bark School coming to start a lap. But yeah, he's been pretty strong in previous races. I know he's been a very, very good qualifier, but seems to just fall off just a bit in the races.
Yeah, France, he actually won the race, but because of penalties, ended up finishing outside of the podium. And then last week he was strong too. Got into an incident, went off track in turn 3, I believe, in his race, went downhill from there. But yeah, like you said, he's a very good qualifier, has a lot of potential to win races, and I think he's definitely somebody to watch out for today. Will I put him at my podium? I don't know, because, I mentioned this, but I have a pretty bad track record of jinxing guys I put in my podium predictions, so we'll see who I put in my podium predictions later on.
Yeah, as Mr. Baboon is purple in the middle sector. He was up by 600 coming across that the second sector split. Now coming through Club in the Alfa Romeo. He is going to improve by a tenth and a half is Mr. Baboon, and going to go into P5 as we do have a Racing Point RC coming into the pit lane. And now it's Scavney. He's on his in lap, but there's a Renault. Or not a Renault. It's Eric coming to start a lap, and then a Williams Terminal Deity starting a lap as well. Oh my gosh, everyone's starting laps here. I believe Sam is on a lap. Yes, Sam in the Red Bull. Alt Maverick is actually on a lap in front of him in the Haas. Your championship leader is Bark School, as we completely missed that. The second Red Bull, he's going to go on pole. It's very, very tight in the top 4 positions. Actually, well, just in general, everybody on the softs is pretty close. This Alt Maverick coming through Club now in the Haas. He's going to be looking for pole position as he goes on a 25-1. He's going to absolutely stomp the entire field here in qualifying so far. I wonder if people are going to be able to make up that 8/10 as a Ferrari's coming across the line. I believe that was... no, it was actually Puff coming to start a lap coming through farm and down into Village. A little bit of a lockup there for the man in the Ferrari, but let's see if there's anybody else on a lap right now. Mr. Baboon is coming to pit. Biga is not on a lap. I think Terminal Deity is on a lap on the mediums coming through Beckett's now. The second part of Beckett's here. Very, very difficult to get right now. Coming through Chapel, opening up the DRS for the hanger straight. This is the one of the best overtaking spots in the Silverstone Sturken. Now coming down into Stowe, turn 15. That looked very nice. Could have been a little bit closer to the apex there, but always difficult. That corner is very, very hard to spot your turn-in point. Now coming through turn 16 and 17 looked very, very nice for a medium lap. He's passing a 26 already, so he's not going to be in the top 10 yet. Terminal Deity improving by 4/10, but still only going P11.
Yeah, not a bad lap at all. And somebody I want to look at is Jinnit. He is on his out lap right now, hasn't started his lap, but he put up a 125.9 on medium, so he's out on softs right now. I can imagine he'll do better on the softs, but he's definitely somebody to watch out for when he begins his lap.
Yeah, I believe Hightower coming through the first sector on his actual lap. Just took a little bit of a trip through grasses. Yes, as you mentioned, Jinnit came down from Tier 1 and started his Tier 2 career, I guess you could say, in France. Now coming out of Club onto the International Pit Straight, just under that huge sky bridge. I don't even know what to call that thing, but now through Abbey and through Farm, turn 2. He's going to touch that curb nice, and now braking for turn 3. Oh, he's gone so deep into the corner. He shouldn't be completing this lap.
Well, let's see what he can do. Looks like he's going to continue on. He's using his ERS. Yep, got a little squirrely there, so not the best lap. I agree. I think he's just back it down, save the ERS, save the tire wear, and just go for a better lap. I don't see this being better than Maverick's lap, but he put up a 125.9 on medium, so who knows. So, and yep, looks like he's not going to make some progress with this lap. So, but we'll see what he can do.
ES as the Red Bull of Sam M is going to be coming through Club to start a lap time. Is Puff Digital in front of Jinnit on the softs right now. Puff Digital's fastest time is a 43.7. You know, coming across the middle sector split, he is purple. He is, I believe, the first one into the 101s through the first and middle sector. Now coming into Stowe, he's going to be hoping just to do a decent last sector. He's going to be able to put himself maybe on provisional pole, having a very, very nice turn 15 there. Now braking for turn 16 into Vale. Very nice turn, not locking up at all that left front. Now coming through turn 17 and through 18. Very, very nice for the man in the Ferrari. He's going to be going P2, only a 10th off of Alt Maverick in the Haas.
Yeah, impressive lap. I just want to bring something up. So Maverick is in the 125.1s, so I can imagine if anybody's going to pass him, they have to get in the 125 flats or even in the 124s. On Monday in Tier 1, we only had 4 people qualify in the 124, so Puff put up a good lap, but I think it just shows how good of a lap Maverick put up with that 125.115.
Yeah, RC, he had a purple middle sector down in P11 on the 26.8, but he had a little bit of a lockup into turn 16. Now coming across the line, he is going to go P3. Ooh. He's going to be the third person into the mid to low 25s as he has gone onto a 25.6 in the Racing Point, and then Sam M in the Red Bull. He's been a good qualifier this season. He's a 10th up on his 25.9. He's coming through the last 3 corners of the Silverstone circuit here, having amazing traction with his Red Bull. Now coming across the line, he's going to go P5. He did lose a little bit of that time that he was up on through that last sector, but he's going to be able to improve if he can maybe get back to the pits, which I don't think he'll be able to unless he's looking to go on another lap in that Red Bull.
So it looks like, I don't know if we are going to have anybody qualify on the mediums for this race. Maybe if Zenith doesn't go back out. But you notice Wolfsburg is heading back out. Looks like he's on softs. Hightower, who qualified on mediums initially, is on softs. So it looks like everybody's going with the softs to start this race.
Oh, well, our Biga, the main commentator for Tier 1, has had a moment there at the farm curve if Wolfsburg is going to be let through from the man in the Ferrari. Our Biga, he started a lap and then just had a little bit of spin out of turn 1. His car getting just a little bit unsettled. I didn't actually see it. But yeah, that would have been scary. Hopefully no damage for him. Actually, he's just missing a left end plate, so his qualifying session should be over, as there is a Renault coming to the line. I believe that is Hightower starting a lap, and then Bark School. Actually, no, Sam M coming into the pit lane, but Bark School in the other Red Bull is now going to be coming through Stowe in 6th gear. Pretty nice from the man in the Red Bull. It's already a 4.5 for Red Bull. There's a McLaren. I believe that is Scavney in front of him. Yeah, Scavney in the McLaren. The champion, or second, or runner-up so far in the championship is RC. Has retired in the pit lane. He's done with his qualifying session. Scavney goes 8th. Bark School is actually spun out of the last corner. He was only a 10th down when I came back on board with him.
Yeah,
so
I saw what happened. It looked like he just pushed it too much, tried to get every little bit, and he just lost it. But yeah, so this will probably put an end to his qualifying bid. But yeah, I mean, he was doing good before, only 10th back, but obviously it's all for naught now.
Yeah, Wolfsburg having a little bit of a mistake through through turn 17, actually improving by 1.7 seconds, but still going to be outside that top 10. As Terminal Dady is coming to the line now. He's going to improve by half a second. Soy Loco, he's actually not going to improve. He was invalid. Now Wolfsburg, actually no, that is Alt Maverick on an out lap. The McLaren of Eric letting through his teammate Lit Romney, who's on a lap. He's up by 300s. It shouldn't be enough to move him any spots up the order as it is right now, but the Mercedes man now coming to the line. He's going to improve by 600s. He's not going to move up any places, though. Yeah, Hightower coming to a lap. We're coming to the end of his lap. He's actually invalid. I'm going to be starting another one in the Renault. Scavney, he's coming into the pits. Just looking for anyone on a lap. Sam M has come out onto the track for an out lap. That seems just to be a little bit of a waste, but Bark School, he's also invalidated as well. So he, Alt Maverick, he's only 3,000s down coming through Cops right now, but it's going to be Wolfsburg in the other Haas. He's down as well. He doesn't have any ERS. He shouldn't be improving here, I wouldn't think.
Looks like we have Soy Loco heading through Stowe right now. I believe he's on his flyer.
Yeah, he's 400s. Oh, is it invalidated? Yeah, as you mentioned earlier, so difficult to keep it on the track through the middle and third sectors, as both Williams are invalid now. But Mr. Baboon, he's a 10th and a half up, coming to the DRS straight for the hangar straight, as one of the Ferraris has crossed the line. So Mr. Baboon actually going purple. Alt Maverick, is he going to improve? Alt Maverick is going to improve to a 25 flat, but now we're going to have to watch on the Alfa Romeo of Mr. Baboon. He's going to be the last one on the lap besides the Mercedes in front of him, or actually no, yeah, the Mercedes in front of him of It's Eric. Mr. Baboon 5/10 up in his Alfa Romeo. He's going to be starting P9. Actually, no, he's going to be starting P3, improving by 6/10 of a second, going in front of RC. RC thought he had done enough, but Mr. Baboon proving him wrong. But then you also have to look out front, in front of Mr. Baboon and RC, who are only in the mid-25s, to Puff on a 25.2 and Alt Maverick on a 25.0. Those two are looking very, very strong for the start of this British Grand Prix.
We have an extremely tight midfield right now. I'm looking from about 5th place down to 9th. They are all in the 125.9s, so that is a really tight group right there. Really, the top 4 is pretty separated out. but this qualifying was really close for a lot of people.
Yeah, as Puff
It was fun to
Digital,
watch.
yeah, as Puff Digital saying in the chat, a 4.8, for not Ferrari, obviously, because Puff is in second, but, I am not exactly sure what he is saying there, but,
He's a
yeah.
Racing Point, I believe he's talking about.
Yeah, but then it corrected to a 4.5, so that's RC and Bark School, which still it makes even less sense. But yeah, it's whatever
Oh,
now as oh.
no, I thought I saw something. I didn't.
Oh, okay, but yeah, your championship leader, Alt Maverick, who leads the championship by 3 points over Scavney, his championship rival, all the way down in 9th place. Scavney not having the best of weekends here, but Alt Maverick in the Haas on pole position, followed by Puff Digital, Mr. Baboon, RC7, and then 2 Red Bulls of Bark School and Sam M. So Loco, Jinnit, Scavney, Biga, all in the top 10. Jinnit qualifying 8th on the mediums, and then Wolfsburg down with Lit Romney, and I believe, I didn't see who was in 13th there, but yeah, those guys outside the top 10 are going to be doing the alternate strategy, I would think. But now let's look over the constructor standings, as we didn't get the time. Sorry, the time to look over the constructor standings at the beginning of qualifying. So we are going to do it here in this what should be a 2-minute break in between qualifying and the formation lap. But yeah, the 2 Ferrari boys who are 3-4 in the championship, only separated by 4 points, are actually leading the constructors by 31 points to Haas of Alt Maverick and Wolfsburg. And then to McLaren, only 3 points between Haas and McLaren. Scavney and Alt Maverick, actually the 2 championship leaders, are only separated by 3 points as well. So the constructors mimicking the drivers' championship there. And then Williams in a little bit of a gap on their own, on 121 points, and then 5th place is AlphaTauri, leading Red Bull by 2 points. AlphaTauri still up there in 5th, even with no full-time drivers right now. And then you have Racing Point just a little bit back on 98 points, Alfa Romeo on 54 points, and then Renault, who has a missing driver so far for full-time on 50, and the Mercedes down in last place on 45 points. But Camden, what are your predictions for this British Grand Prix?
Well, like I said before, I have to be aware of my jinx. But first place, I'm gonna go with Maverick. I think one of the podiums I didn't put Maverick on. I think he's proved me wrong the last couple of weeks, but I'm gonna put Maverick on there. So Maverick, if you have an issue, that's my apologies. I'm gonna go with Jinnit in second. I think he'll move his way up through the grid. And then third, we're going to go with Biga finishing in third.
Okay. As shown by a lot of guys on Monday in Tier 1, that the alternate strategy is absolutely OP. So Jinnit has a very, very good shot at being on the podium here for the first time in Tier 2, I believe. Actually, no. I'm completely lying, as he did win last time out in Austria. Just yeah. Okay. Yeah, he's going to be getting on the podium today. I'm not going to say anything about Alt Maverick or Scavney because I want their championship battle to go along with no hitches in the road for either of them. So I'm going to say Puff Digital in first place, followed by Jinnit. And then I believe... Who else? Let me look at the tires, and I want to see... I'm going to make a calculated guess here. Wolfsburg in the Haas. The Ferrari, or the Haas second man, down in 11th on those mediums. He's going to be taking a very, very good alternate strategy here tonight and get himself onto the second row, or the third step on that podium.
Yeah, and when I think of reverse strategy, I mean, Jinnit is one of the guys when it comes to the reverse strategy, so that's why I can easily see him finishing at the front. But yeah, we have a lot of guys opting to start on the mediums. Obviously, the guys beyond 10th, it's a good choice to do that. We do have some guys like Eric, though, starting on the softs down in 19th. The last few weeks, he's done a pretty good job of moving his way through the field at the beginning of the race, so interesting choice by him. Hightower going with the softs as well. And then, looks like Romney on the mediums, but the majority of the guys at the front are going with the softs.
I do believe I'm just going to take a little look to the YouTube title, as I do believe we have put Season 12 instead of Round 12. I'm going to make that change real quick. Sorry, my mistake. But
I didn't even notice.
yeah, I'm just going to take a little, you know, just take the editing pencil to that
Season
very
12.
quickly. Yeah.
Man, we are far in the future. Looks like things
many,
haven't
many
changed
games
much.
in the future. Hopefully the game is just a little bit better in Season 12, but
right?
Yeah, we are going to change that. As I
Yeah,
accidentally
hopefully
spelled round
they
wrong.
fix the corner
I
cutting.
am a complete mess tonight. But yes, round 12 here in Britain for the British Grand Prix. Alt Maverick, your championship leader, on pole position. Scavney, his championship rival in the McLaren, all the way down to 9th place, even starting behind Zenith, the top man on the mediums. But yeah, it should be an interesting start with the Ferraris of Puff Digital in 2nd and Arbiga in 10th. The two Ferraris looking for more consistent points tonight in their constructors battle with Haas and McLaren. But yeah, it should be a very, very, very interesting start here to the British Grand Prix, as it always is. As the 5 red lights are coming on here at the Silverstone circuit. Oh, they're going out very, very quickly as all 20 cars are going to head down into Abbey. All Maverick getting a very, very good start. Puff Digital is not going to have any competition either. Actually, he's getting battled by one of the racing points there, but he is going to clear him. That is RC up into 3rd. Oh, a little bit of contact there. RC is going to be going around. He's going to have to try and avoid people. He has gotten into an incident with Soy Loco in the Williams. Ryan in the Renault going around the outside of an Alfa Romeo down in 18th place. Trying to get back to the front here. But yes, Alt Maverick having a controlling lead in P1 with Puff Digital, and then the Red Bull Bark School following him right behind. And Mr. Baboon having a very, very good start in the Alfa Romeo. But then Scavney, the championship leader, fighting with Sam M in the Red Bull. Sam not having the greatest of starts. Scavney making up from 9th place, obviously being helped with the crash with RC. But Scavney up into 5th place, going around the outside of Sam into Cops there. But Scavney actually making a little bit of a mistake. Sam M is going to be challenging him just around the outside. If they're going to go 2x2 into Maggots there. Bark School and Mr. Baboon. Mr. Baboon is going to get that move done around the outside of Beckett's and now onto the hanger strike. But they're also just letting Puff and Maverick absolutely run away with these first 2 places.
Scavney or Maverick already up by 2 seconds as Scavney making a move on Bark School, but Maverick, what a start by him.
Yeah, Scavney realizing that Alt Maverick is going to just completely dominate this race if he doesn't get up there, as Sam M going just a little bit into the gearbox of the McLaren of Scavney. Yeah, Zenith on those mediums, he has made up a place. I'm guessing with RC. His DRS is enabled. That should be wrong. Soy Loco's coming into the pits as well as RC. Soy Loco getting a 5-second penalty there for speeding in the pit lane. He should have to serve that later in the race. As Zenith is going to be going for a move on Bark School. No, he's just going to back out. Back out into the corners. Actually, Big is going to send it down the inside. He's getting on that red sausage curve. That's not going to help his chances of overtaking the Racing Point man who is on the mediums. Those mediums should be able to get up to temperature very, very quickly, as the Delta is not that very much different. Terminal Deity just going a little bit wide there on the mediums, has actually gotten past Wolfsburg in the Haas. So Terminal Deity, the second runner on those mediums. Zenith spun as Terminal Deity is actually going to go be the first person on the mediums now in the orders. Wolfsburg and Terminal Deity are going to be going side by side through Cobbs. Actually, Wolfsburg in the house going to be backing out of that. I believe that was smart from the man in the house. But yeah, no lead changes out towards the front of this Grand Prix.
Yeah, terrible start for Racing Point. They started both towards the front, and they are now both at the back. So bad start for those guys, and Zenith's reverse strategy definitely going to have to be adjusted now. But yeah, Maverick, man, already so far out in front of Puff, and then it's just miles back to Mr. Baboon in 3rd.
Yeah, 3.37. Oh, Bark School spun in front of the pack. Luckily, no damage, I do not think, for anyone, as Ryan is up the inside of Lit Romney. These Tier 1 guys are really fighting. It's Eric getting it all sideways there and into the back of Wolfsburg. I don't believe there might have been a little bit of contact there, as Bobby's going to go to the inside of Ryan for Abby into turn 1. Okay, the guys are going to stay spread out. GP Colin looking to the back of Ryan. Not going to do anything with that, as Ryan half sends it up the inside of Bobby Barkskull, pitting, I'm guessing, yeah, for a front wing. There in the Red Bull. The Red Bull crew is going to try and work hard and fast to get him out of the pit lane as quick as possible. But yeah, these top 5 guys have just an absolutely huge gap to the back behind.
We have a huge group from around 10th to, I would say, 15th. We have guys double wide here. Looks like Angel Lockdock's in the middle of that. It looks like he got some wing damage. But man, they are fighting back here for the first spot out of the points.
Yeah, Bobby having a little bit of look on Adri there into Cops. As actually Adri's gone wide. You said, or you did mention that he might have wing damage there. Yeah, it looks like he has orange wing damage there on the left side. He's going to have to look out for Hightower. Hightower actually going out of the grass there. I was going to say he's going to have to look out for the man who's in Tier 2, but he's not going to have to do anything now. Bobby Tavo looking onto the back of the McLaren of GP Colin. GP just barely out of the slipstream of the Renault of Ryan, so he's not going to be getting that slipstream effect. He does have the DRS, though, off the back of the Renault, as Eric is picking up a penalty. He's pretty much known for these time penalties now. He did start on the soft tire, which is alternate to these guys outside the top 10. He's going to be going to the inside of Terminal Data here for Abby. Turn 1. He's going to back out of there smartly. He does cut the corner just a little bit, but it's Eric has actually almost no ERS. He's going to be making this move on Terminal Deity. Deity just backing out there. Actually going to keep it in for turn 4. As Eric should have a superior traction as he does. Actually, that was Lit Romney. I don't know what happened there, because it was Eric going for the move on Terminal Day into turn 3. But now Terminal Day having a little bit of look on his fellow medium runner in the Mercedes of Lit Romney in P9. Looking back towards the front just a little bit. None of these gaps are really closing or close enough for overtakes, but just staying within the DRS is going to be crucial for these guys.
I mentioned before that Eric, the last couple of races, has done very good in getting through the field early in the race. He has made up 11 positions on just lap 4 of the race. So Eric, on those softs too, he could be one to watch out for later in the race.
Yeah, it's Eric definitely taking advantage of those soft tires and of this very close field, as Fuselim and GP Colin are going to be closing up to the back of the Williams of Terminal Deity. GP Colin just pulling out of the slipstream there. Fuselib not going to be able to do anything with his with DRS there, but the McLaren actually getting a very bad exit. Fuselib is going to be squeezed out of the grass in the braking zone of turn 16 there. GP Colin, I'm guessing, just not seeing him. Soy Loco picks up a penalty. Fuselib getting very sideways there on the exit of turn 17, going through turn 18 of Club. But yeah, these tier 1 guys are just so close.
Yeah, and speaking of Tier 1 guys, Ryan was very strong on Monday, finished in P4. Look for him to make his way through the field as well. He's made up 10 positions already. Like I said, he's a Tier 1 guy, but he was really good on Monday, and he's on the back of Lit Romney right now with DRS.
Yeah, Scabney had just made the move on the Alfa Romeo of Mr. Baboon. Scabney getting up into those podium positions is going to be absolutely crucial for his championship challenge for the second half of this season. Mr. Baboon is going to be using the slipstream. They have actually dropped DRS to the Red Bull of Sam, so Big is going to be looking to move past the Red Bull very quickly here, just 6/10 behind, going through the heart of this middle sector. Mr. Baboon and Scabney now winding their way through Maggots and Beckett's, and then through the right-hander here, and then through the left-hander leading onto the hanger straight of Chapel. Opening DRS for the Alfa Romeo. Sam actually has grasped DRS. Actually, no, he hasn't. He did close up through the Maggots Beckett section, but did not, or was not within a second going through the DRS detection point. But now, Scabney is going to be looking to chase down that 7.2 second gap to the 2 leaders.
Wow. I guess you can say Maverick and Puff are very fast. Definitely the 2 top guys right now, but that could always change. You could get a safety car. You could get guys on the reverse strategy making their way through the field at the end. But yeah, I mean, Maverick and Puff, they're the class of the field right now. It's not even close.
Yeah, Fuselim very close to the back of Terminal Deity. He has gotten past GP Colin in the McLaren. Fuselim in the Alpha Tower just taking just a little bit of a look, sizing up the Williams of Terminal Deity. Not going to be making any moves now. Taking very conservative into turn 4. Going to be looking for the best traction possible out of the loop. Now through Aintree. I don't think he's going to be close enough. Terminal Deity with that DRS. He is just derating just a little bit. Fuselim on 60% ERS does not have to worry about derating here. Taking again another look at the Williams. This is actually Terminal Data. He's going a little bit wide there. Fuselem around the outside of left field. He's just going to be squeezed out. There's no grip there. So actually, he's going all the way around the outside. He's going to try and use that traction on the outside line. The line with the more momentum. He's going to use that momentum to get past Terminal Data. Terminal Data. He's just going to tuck into the slipstream of Fuselem going through Cops.
And this has allowed both GP and Zenith to catch up with those guys, so we have a little bit of a train from 11th to 14th right now, heading through Maggots and Beckett's.
Yeah, and then the two Mercedes and Ryan, actually, and Wolfsburg in this little train for 7th place. Wolfsburg is the only, actually no, Wolfsburg and Lit Romney are the two tier 2 guys here fighting for positions. These tier 1 reserves aren't going to be scoring any points here tonight. Yeah, none of the gaps really close enough for overtakes as Zenith goes a little bit deep on his recovery drive. He is pitted onto another set of mediums. Or actually, has he pit? I do not believe he is pit, actually. So still on those mediums that he has started on the lap 1. He qualified P8 on those same medium set of tires. Just looking to the back of this Williams of Terminal Data. But Data is absolutely falling off the back of Fuselem in the AlphaTauri. Fuselem only 3.5 tenths off the back of Lit Romney.
Looks like Mr. Baboon has really gained on Scavney. He is right behind him within DRS range. We'll have to see what he can do. Not going to get him soon, but I can imagine after Maggots and Beckett's he'll get that DRS.
Yeah, Mr. Baboon only 5 tenths behind the McLaren Championship challenger of Scavney. Scavney just taking a little bit of a wider line there through Cops. RC7 is going to be picking up a penalty after his early incident at turn 3 on lap 1. Mr. Baboon looking to have a very good run here through Maggots and Beckett's as he is going to be trying to get the best exit possible off of Chapel onto the hanger straight with DRS, 75% ERS onto the back of the McLaren of Scavney. Scavney just defending, using all of his ERS that he can. He is only on 17 going into Stowe there, but yeah, Mr. Baboon just not able to close up at all to the back of the McLaren.
Ooh, looks like Ryan sent it on Eric, was able to make the move. He's on the back of Wolfsburg right now.
Ooh,
it doesn't make a
very
move.
Close there. Yeah, actually, Wolfsburg with his medium tires starting, I'm guessing, just to fall off. I don't know how they would be because these medium tires are supposed to be able to go to about lap 18 or 19. So he still has 10 laps to go on those harder compound tires.
Yeah, and I'm glad you brought that up. We'll have to see when guys start to pit. I can imagine it won't be for another few laps, but I can imagine these softs are starting to wear off. These mediums are starting to get faster. We'll have to see when people make their pit stops.
Yeah, if you have decent tire wear, you could have pitted just almost 2 laps ago. Now you could pit off the end of lap 6. So these guys are going to just try and extend and get the best grip possible from the medium tires and not use them as much, so they will they will keep their life throughout the rest of the Grand Prix, as we did have Sam M in the Red Bull on board with Mr. Bibbin, just going very wide there through Cops, now through Maggots and Beckett's for these two again. This 4-car train for P3, the last podium position. Scavney getting onto the grass there through Chapel. So now Mr. Baboon is going to use his absolute abundant amount of ERS and DRS on the McLaren, but Scavney just being able to defend it again, once again, through into Stowe, turn 15, now down into the very last 3 corners of the Vale chicane. Mr. Baboon setting it very late, locking up both tires there. He's going to lose a little bit of time to Scavney as Zenith has gotten past its Eric into Stowe. Zenith, as I said earlier, on his recovery drive in the Racing Point on those medium tires, trying to make up for whatever lost time he had on lap 2, I believe, is the lap that he spun. But yeah, Zenith making his way through the field very nicely here.
Looks like we have a couple of groups right now. Looks like from about 3rd to 6th, and then you go back to 7th to 12th. We have a couple of distinct groups right now, kind of in little trains. 3rd to 6th is pretty close. Scavney and Mr. Baboon battling has allowed both Sam and Biga to catch up. So we'll have to see which one of those guys ends up getting on the last step of the podium here.
Yeah, as Fuselem has just gotten past Wolfsburg, the AlphaTauri, now going to chase down the other Tier 1 reserve of Ryan, who's just about 7 tenths up the road. Ryan having 8.6 seconds to Arbiga in the Ferrari in front of him. That 4-car train is going to be going through the second half of this middle sector, once again, all within DRS range.
Looks Looks like Lit Romney track extended there, got a penalty. Jinnit almost back into the points already. On the reverse strategy, this could be a good bounce back for him if he's able to move his way through the field, but obviously he's got a long way to go.
Yeah, ooh, as actually Mr. Baboon is going to be the first one to pull the trigger here, as well as Puff. Puff looking to maybe claw back just a little bit of time on Alt Maverick. It's going to be a very, very difficult thing to pull off for Puff in the Ferrari, as Mr. Baboon, the first person out of these 4 cars of Scavney, Sam, and Bigga to pit and trying to undercut Scavney in front.
Yeah, this could be a huge move for, like you said, Puff and Mr. Baboon if they're able to overtake guys in front of them. Maverick, we'll have to see when he comes in. He's got a pretty good lead, and he had a pretty good lead to Puff, so maybe he could stay out an extra couple of laps, but I wouldn't be surprised if he pits in the next couple of laps or so.
Yeah, Scouty, Sam, and Bigga are going to all have to look behind to the times, or the sector times, that Puff and Mr. Baboon are all going to be putting in on those fresh medium tires. Those medium tires should be absolutely stuck to this Silverstone circuit, as Alt Maverick is coming through the second sector split right now. Only 4/10 off his PB, which is not bad for Alt Maverick in the Haas. But then you have Scavney, Sam M, and Bigga coming through this middle sector. Sam just going a little bit wide there. Bigga's going to be looking for a move here in the Ferrari. Sam M only having DRS and ERS to defend. Bigga going to have the same thing to attack. The Ferrari is going to be going to the outside of Stowe on Sam M, but he's going to be backing out. Actually, Sam just getting on the grass. They're picking up a penalty on the inside of Stowe. These 3 are all going to be into the pits. They're going to be trying to protect from the undercut from Mr. Baboon. Sam getting very, very close to the back of Bigga there, but as well as Alt Maverick, he's going to be protecting from the undercut from Puff. So these top 6 are all into the pits now.
And it looks like behind them we have the first of the reverse strategy guys. Ryan, you got, looks like Jinnit, Wolfsburg. So looks like we're going through a cycle right now of the guys on the softs all coming down into the pit, and all the guys with the mediums staying out right now.
Yes, Alt Maverick is going to come out just behind the Mercedes of Lit Romney. He does have a 1-car gap to Puff Digital. GP Colin filling that gap in between the 2 net leaders here. Alt Maverick going to have to be patient here with the Mercedes of Lit Romney. Lit Romney has been on those tires since the start of the Grand Prix. Alt Maverick just coming out of the pit lane. These tires are going to be a little bit colder. Is actually going to try and send it around the outside of Brooklyn's there. He's not going to be able to get the move done. Looking to the inside of Luffield, but ooh, that's close. But yeah, Alt Maverick just trying to get these cars out of the way so he can create that gap to Puff Digital, who has to get through these cars who have not pit yet.
Yeah, he should definitely be patient because Puff, as of now, does not have DRS on GP Colin. Maverick does have DRS on Romney, so yeah, he should definitely be patient, just wait for the opportunity, but making contact is definitely not going to help him out, but we'll see what he can do. He's got DRS. I don't know if he can get it done this time, but like I said, just stay patient and wait for the opportunity.
Yeah, as I said, with the undercut there, Puff not being able to do it on Alt Maverick, as Alt Maverick has gotten past the Mercedes of Lit Romney. But look at Mr. Baboon's gap to Scavney, Bigga, and Sam M. 2.4 seconds, the gap from Mr. Baboon to Scavney, as Fuselum sets a 28.9, fastest lap of the race. Oh, Bigga's going to be going around the outside of Scavney here. He's going to go all the way around the outside as Bigga. The Ferrari man is going to be able to get that move done, just closing off the line, just having a little bit of defensive driving there. Scavney trying to get the good exit out of Club Vale Chicane. They're going almost into the back of the Ferrari. Bigga just derating there, using all of his ERS to get past the McLaren. But now look at the ERS situation between these two. Bigga on 6%, Scavney on 50%, and he's just going to have the better run through farm. Oh, yeah, but Bigga just closing off the line as Soy Loco has spun, coming through turn 17 there. But now Scavney is going to have to try and look for a way past the Ferrari. Now these guys are only fighting for 4th place with Mr. Baboon up the road 2.8 seconds. Ooh, that's close!
Whoa!
Oh,
Big
Sam
send for Scavney.
Yeah, Bigga's going to be able to get the cutback there. Sam's not going to try it around the outside of Scavney. Scavney is just going to have the better line. But Sam's still just a little bit on the outside there. Scavney using his ERS reserve to power past the Red Bull in the McLaren. Scavney really falling down the order here. First losing out to Mr. Baboon in the pit stops, and then Bigga just full sending it around the outside of Stowe.
And I noticed that Scavney's fuel light is already on, so Scavney has been using literally everything that he's got, and he does not have much to work with, so that could really explain why he's falling down the grid, but Sam might get him really soon, as Scavney has literally nothing left in the tank.
Yeah, as you say that, Puff not being able to look forward to the Mercedes Alert Romney, still behind the Mercedes man in P6, but he also has to look out to GP Colin behind. I just noticed for a little bit there that GP Colin was within a tenth going through still. Puff Digital on that net P2, but all this battling being held up by Lit Romney is just allowing, I think, Mr. Baboon just to close in a little bit. I know it's a very, very big gap. He doesn't have much to worry about, but he is going to have to start looking behind if he can't get past the Mercedes. It's actually Puff Digital, as I say that, is going to be going for the inside of Lit Romney there through Berkeland's, now the outside of Luffield, trying to get that better exit on the Mercedes. It's the Mercedes and Ferrari fighting again at Silverstone. They're going to be going side by side on the internet or the national pit straight, the old pit straight that we used to use here at Silverstone, going around the outside of Cops. The Ferrari of Puff Digital is going to make an absolutely amazing move, being so daring with his overtake on through that flat out corner.
Yeah, and this has allowed Maverick to really pull out ahead of Puff. This is everything Maverick wants to see. We'll have to see if Puff can close up to Wolfsburg and possibly get DRS on him. He's right within range. Doesn't have it now, but I can imagine next DRS straight, he'll probably get the DRS on him.
Yeah, as Eric picked up his third penalty down in 14th place in the Mercedes, only having a 6-second gap to Adri. 6 seconds if you're rounding, that is. But yes, as we are going to look back to net P4, 5, and 6, Arbiga, Scavney, and Sam M. Scavney just being able to stay within the DRS as well as Sam in the DRS of Scavney. But yeah, GP Colin also picking up a penalty just in front of these three guys. But yeah, Scavney just not really having the pace here in Britain.
Yeah, and there's a long way to go too. You never know. We could get a safety car. We could have some battles. We could see guys like Mr. Baboon and Biga. So it's not over for him yet. But yeah, he's definitely not on the pace of Maverick. Just not up there today. But obviously a long way to go. And we still have a lot of guys that need to pit too. A lot of guys on the reverse strategy. So not over for him yet. But obviously not the best race so far.
Yeah, as Zenith, as you mentioned, on that reverse strategy in P3, Alt Maverick only 1.2 seconds behind him. Alt Maverick has pit, Zenith has not pit, picking up a 3-second penalty. Zenith race was going to be looking very, very, very good there, and then spinning on the exit of Luffield on those medium tires. I believe he had made up a position off the start, which is very good. Considering he had medium runners around him, as Puff Digital is going to be going past the Haas of Wolfsburg. Wolfsburg maybe just playing the team game just a little bit there for Alt Maverick, as the gap is opened up to 4.5 seconds between the two net race leaders.
Yeah, Wolfsburg is pretty good at doing the team game. He was helping out his buddy Arrow on Monday a little bit. It was hard to get by him. He's good when defending. But it looks like at the front we have Ryan and Fuzz battling. They're both reserves, but Ryan is within DRS range, so those guys could bring Zenith with them soon. We'll have to see, though.
I just want to point out that Biga is within a second of Mr. Baboon. Mr. Baboon obviously making a very, very big mistake there, and then as well as picking up a penalty, making that mistake, and then being out of the rhythm of this Silverstone circuit. It is very easy to pick it back up, as most people know this track like the back of their hand. It's Eric picking up his 4th penalty, as we seem to see it every week. Mr. Baboon going to be looking to the inside of Terminal Deity here. Should be able to get this move done pretty easily, as he is on fresh tires, but yes, he will. Now Mr. Baboon is going to be trying to pull away from P4, 5, and 6, all those net positions so far.
Looks like Maverick's got DRS on Zenith.
Yeah, within 5 tenths actually. He's going to be really, really closing to the back of the racing point. Is he going to be going for it? He's going to be going for it. Zenith just a little squeezing in there. That would have been very, very chaotic for Alt Maverick, as a Renault, that is Hightower, has spun. But yeah, Alt Maverick, if he got into an incident there with Zenith, that would have been completely devastating for his hopes of a race win here. Puff Digital only being once this goes back to the Delta, 4.3 seconds, so that gap is staying pretty stationary, maybe closing down a tenth or two every few laps, but Puff Digital just they have the same pace, but Puff not being able to close down that gap at all.
Yeah, so far this race we have no DNFs. That's pretty good for these guys to have no DNFs, as we have Zenith, Wolfsburg, some of the medium tire guys coming in already. We'll see if this brings everybody else on that strategy in with them, but Zenith, the first one out right now. Like I said, it's not over for Zenith. He had an incident earlier on, but he could easily work his way through the field on those softs.
Yeah, most definitely 10 laps left of the British Grand Prix. Zenith, the highest running soft runner now, in front of his teammate by only 6/10 to RC. But yeah, now Zenith is right on the back of Adri. Adri is a Tier 1 reserve. I wonder if he's going to be going for it. No, he's not going to be going for it into Brooklands, but he's going to be trying to dispose of Adri and Eric very, very quickly, and then get onto the back of Sam, who is 12.2 seconds. The gap between Sam and Eric is actually Zenith has already gotten past Adri coming through Woodcut, as we are on board with Biga and Mr. Baboon. Biga really showing some very, very good pace here towards the middle and later half of this Grand Prix. Biga not having anywhere to go there for Stowe, just sitting in behind the Alfa Romeo of Mr. Baboon.
And like I said, this has just brought just about everybody else on that strategy into the pit lane. You have Fuzz, Ryan, Lit Romney, all in the pits. GP Collins staying out, but I can imagine he'll be in the next couple of laps. Ooh, Biga gets a penalty.
So yeah, so Biga and Mr. Baboon, I believe, are now equal on penalties. I do not think Scavney has a penalty, but Sam M in the Red Bull behind him most definitely does. So yeah, but these four guys are now having to look out behind for Fuselim and Ryan, both on soft tires. It's going to be a little bit reminiscent of the Austrian Grand Prix. I believe we had Fuzz and Aerostrike in Austria coming in behind the Tier 2 guys towards the podium, or towards the higher finishing results in Austria. But Puff Digital making in his bid to close down the race leader, Alt Maverick, has actually been doing it pretty well. Only closing down a 10th though in the last 2 laps. Puff Digital in his just pushing so hard to catch the Haas, picks up a time penalty.
Yeah, and that's what he needs to not do right now, is get time penalties. Maverick has really benefited the last few weeks by other people getting penalties, and I don't think this race will necessarily come down to penalties the way it did at France and Austria, but you never know. If you know these guys up front get penalties, it'll definitely affect the outcome.
Yeah, as our Biga had a little bit of a look. Ooh, Biga having a little bit of a snap there on the exit of Stowe. Very, very easy to do it there. Very, very difficult corner is turn 15. But yeah, Biga having a look up the inside of Mr. Baboon. I think Biga can just sit behind here just a little bit, because you have to look at the ERS game here. Mr. Baboon on 55%, just defending, using the absolute minimum amount he has to defend from the Ferrari of our Biga. Now Biga with that mistake, Mr. Baboon is going to be able to charge up his ERS battery again, but Mr. Biga is just going to have to keep on charging his ERS, as he does use it out of the loop and through Aintree onto the Wellington Straight, not being able to charge any ERS percentage.
Looks like Puff is gaining a little bit, not much, but he is using a lot of his overtake right now.
Yeah, as Fuselim, the first the highest soft runner on 70% ERS, has gotten past Sam. Now he's going to be looking for the move on Scavney up the inside of Cops. Scavney not going to be fighting that too well. That's a very, very good move from Fuselim, the Red Bull full-time driver in Tier 1, as Ryan is also going to be getting past Sam M. These Tier 1 guys are really disrupting the race of these Scavney and Sam M.
Looks like Scavney will get DRS from Fuzz, but yeah, these Tier 1 guys, they have experience from Monday, so there's no surprise that they're up here right now.
Yeah, as Biga still within 4/10, but just has absolutely no ERS to make any moves on Mr. Baboon, as GP Colin is finally into the pits on what would be his lap 18, now going on to lap 19 for the soft tires. Fuselim setting a 27.3. That's a very, very good lap from the man in the McLaren. Sorry, in the AlphaTauri, up in P5. Now chasing down Biga, who's actually, it's only 7/10 to the Ferrari Scavney, trying to stay within DRS of Fuselim, which is not going to work out very well for second in the championship. But actually, as you said, Puff Digital is closing down All Maverick, but All Maverick even if Puck does get within DRS, has all the ERS he needs to defend from the man in second place of this Grand Prix.
Yeah, speaking of the standings, Puff has made some pretty considerable ground just in the last couple of weeks. After France, he was 7th. This week, he was 4th, and as of now, he's going to come out of this race 3rd in the standing. So, really good stuff from Puff lately. He's really making up that lost ground, it seems like.
Yeah, Puff Digital starting in second place. So, as you said, he's making up leaps and bounds of points and positions in the Drivers' Championship, as our Bigger, who started P10, is up in P4 right now. Actually, he's going to be sending it up. Mr. Baboon again, a little bit of contact there. Bigga is just going to be going to the outside of Vale, getting that move done on Mr. Baboon, but now Bigga's gonna have to defend for his life to keep Mr. Baboon behind. Mr. Baboon just having so much more ERS than the Ferrari of Arbiga, but now Fuselin is gonna be in behind these two as well, just maybe disrupting this battle for 3rd place.
You got Ryan, too, another Tier 1 guy that could disrupt things, as well as Scavney. This has brought Scavney in the picture. Oh!
He's going for it. I'm not too sure if that was the best move if you look at the ERS game here, but Bigga now just having a better exit because he has that wire line not being compromised by the tighter line that Mr. Baboon had to take. He's going to be looking to the inside. He's going for it! Oh, I think there was a little bit of contact there between the two, but it's all fair play so far. Bigga might be just a little... Well, I mean, from my position, you know, these cameras are not the greatest. Bigga still using all of his overtake, going to the inside of Cops. This is a very, very intriguing battle. Bigga going to the inside. Mr. Baboon trying to keep...
No!
Oh, Bigga and Mr. Baboon making contact again there through Cops as Ryan has gotten past Fuselin. Fuselin just being spooked by the absolute intense ferocity of this battle between Bigga and Baboon. But now Ryan... I think is going to be looking to try and get past these two. I really don't think he should, considering he's only reserved, not scoring any points. Bigga going to have to defend. Oh, that was close. That was kind of dumb there from Ryan, I would say. As Scavney spun. Scavney and Fuselin have crashed.
Oh, will that bring out a safety car, possibly, or at least a VSC? I don't think it will, but... Yeah, Mr. Baboon, he made a pretty big send through Brooklands, and it looks like Bigga might have not been too happy with that. Looks like they're still pretty good. I still see all the wings on the cars, but yeah, definitely some fierce racing here in the closing laps. This is for the final podium spot. I mean, you know what it's like. You gotta get in that interview. So, yeah. It's like Bigga will have DRS.
Yeah, I wonder what Ryan is thinking here. He knows he's a reserve. He's not going to be scoring any points. Mr. Baboon and Bigga are both full-time Tier 2 drivers. Bigga just looking to the outside there just a little bit. Mr. Baboon in the Alfa Romeo taking that very, very defensive line into Turn 6 of Brooklyn, now through Turn 7 left field. Both of them getting pretty decent traction. Mr. Baboon seeming to get the better traction there. Now Bigga on the overtake. He's going to go to the inside of Cops again. I wonder if there's going to be contact here. We're going to go on board with Ryan. Bigga getting a little bit sideways.
Side by side.
Yeah, Mr. Baboon trying to keep it around the outside. He's going to be doing it, but now through Beckett's. Beckett, contact again. Contact twice. Bigga going around the outside of Beckett's there. Now through turn 13 and through 14, Bigga is going to be having the advantage here. But now Mr. Baboon on the back of the Ferrari of Bigga. Oh my gosh, this is very, very stressful for both of them. Oh, contact!
Oh no! Oh no!
We knew it was going to happen eventually between these two, but
gosh.
Mr. Baboon and our Bigga coming into contact. Now Sam M threw on Ryan as well. But yeah, Mr. Baboon is going to be taking that 3rd place home pretty comfortably now to the Red Bull of Sam. A 3-second gap behind. Bigga's going to be absolutely fuming with the Alfa Romeo.
Yeah, I told you they were racing intently, and don't look now, but Jinnit on those softs is in 5th of the Tier 2 guys, and he could make ground on Sam. Sam's not that far ahead, and we don't know that Mr. Baboon doesn't look like he got damaged, but definitely lost ground there, so Jinnit really winning out of this, and I think Ryan got a front row seat of that, too.
Yeah, so, actually there's been contact between Lit Romney and RC, I believe. Both of them off in the gravel trap, down in 15th and 16th. I don't know exactly what has happened there. They're gonna have to look out for the Williams of Terminal Deity. Let Romney get off the racing line.
Oh, RC around again.
Oh yeah, his hot tires and very, very dirty tires are gonna be a struggle to keep in check here. But yeah, we're gonna go back to Fuselin and our Bigga. Fuselin now on the back after his crash with Scavney on the back of Biga here. Not going to be making any moves here. I do not think going to the end of this middle sector as Eric picks up his 5th time penalty at the British Grand Prix.
He's doing better than last week. I think last week was, what, 33 seconds?
Yeah, something like that. But yeah, now our Biga with absolutely no ERS with his battle from Mr. Baboon. Fuselim's going to be able to breeze past on his soft tires. But yeah, the 2 real winners out of this that incident were Sam and Jinnit. Jinnit having an early spin, but on that alternate strategy, just being able to pull back time where others cannot. Jinnit on these 6-lap-old soft tires is going to be trying to chase down Sam, but these soft tires are going to be just barely past their best.
Don't look now, but look at Puff. He's within 2 seconds of Maverick. He is really closed in, and he is 1 lap less than Maverick. Maverick has fresher tires, so we'll see if he can get in range, but obviously Puff, I believe, has more penalties right now. We'll see if he gets there, though. And look at the cap from Puff to Mr. Baboon. Yeah. 23 seconds, so it is clearly a race with the top 2 right now.
Yeah, only the Red Bull of Barkskull and the Renault of Hightower splitting these 2 on track. But yeah, both Sam and Hightower have been lapped in this Grand Prix, and I believe Soy Loco, who I think was either 3rd or 4th in qualifying, down in 17th, not having the best of races as Romney has pit from his incident with RC. RC still running decently in the Racing Point in 16th. Well, I say decently. He did have, I believe, an 8th place, or no, he had a 4th place qualifying in the Racing Point, so his race has not gone all to plan. But you know whose race has gone all to plan? Alt Maverick and Puff Digital's after Lockdock picks up a penalty down in P9. 18 laps done on those medium tires. His stint has been going pretty well for him. Those mediums are going to be nearing puncture range, if not already in that puncture range. But yeah, Puff really closing down Alt Maverick here. Puff has just been on absolute rails compared to the race leader. Well, actually, both of them have been on rails compared to the rest of the field. But yeah, Puff Digital just showing his pace, as actually he's going to pick up his 2nd penalty. Now, Alt Maverick having none. Puff Digital having a 6 seconds of penalties. He's going to have to pull out a 6-second gap if he can even get within DRS and overtake Alt Maverick.
Well, here's the thing, though. If Puff gets to Maverick, we're going to have to see how Maverick reacts, because remember Canada, when Maverick was in that situation on the last lap of Scavney, made a desperate move. We'll see if Puff can get to him. I'm very interested to see how they race, though, because it looks like Puff, he just needs to get within DRS range, and I think he'll catch him. He is just outside of it, though, so we'll see how they race each other on the last lap.
Yeah, Puff Digital only 2,000ths off of his PB, doing a 28.2 there from the Ferrari. 1.2 seconds is the gap going through Village Turn 3 and through the loop of Turn 4. Now accelerating out onto the Wellington Straight with this little left kink of Aintree, opening up the DRS. So actually I was going to say opening up the DRS, but he's still not within DRS range. Still in just a little bit in qualifying mode here. From the commentary point of view. But yeah, we did also see that Alt Maverick mentioned in France that he was battling Soy Loco for the win, but Soy Loco had more penalties than Alt Maverick there. So showing a little bit of maturity there from the Haas championship leader. And that did eventually help him to be leading this championship by 3 points to Scavney. Scavney not scoring any points here as it is. I'm sure he will be moved up into the points with the Tier 1 reserves out of the way, as Scavney actually picks up, I believe, his 2nd time penalty. What are you owing at?
Maverick clipped the grass. This will allow Puff to gain a lot. He's within DRS. And speaking of DRS, Jinnit within DRS of Sam. So we have a couple of battles here coming to the final lap.
Very close. Yeah, Jinnit going through cops there was just under 2/10 behind Sam M in the Red Bull. But yeah, Fuselim shouldn't be making any moves here onto the back of these two. But now going through Beckett's and through the left of Chapel. Sam M getting on the grass there on the exit. But Jinnit has absolutely no ERS. Neither does Sam. Both of them were on the overtake. Now Jinnit going to the inside with his superior soft tire grip. We saw an incident here with Bigga and Mr. Baboon. None of that is going to be happening here between the Racing Point and the Red Bull. But now Jinnit is up into P5 and should be P4 with Ryan being moved out of the way.
Looks like Puff is just outside of DRS right now. He just needs a little bit more. He needs to use all his stuff here to get to him. He is, like I said, just outside of that 1 second range. If he gets within it, though, this is not over for Puff.
Yeah, as Adri and Fuselin, both avatars, have retired from the race. Those two being tier 1 reserves, so they would not be scoring points anyways, even if they finished inside the top 10, which is required to score points this year. Is actually Puff is within 7/10 here of Alt Maverick. I do not believe he's going to be making any moves, and he's not going to be getting into the lead anytime soon, especially with his penalties, unless Alt Maverick makes a terrible, terrible mistake. But yeah, Puff getting the DRS for the first time in this race. Only 9/10 coming out of Chapel there, but now Alt Maverick is going to be coming through turn 15, having a little slide there. Now through turn 16, the Veil Chicane, hitting that apex very, very nicely. Now through turn 17 and through 18. Now Alt Maverick is going to be extending his championship lead to 28 points over Scavney.
Great drive from Maverick, and looks like Mr. Baboon might get a podium here.
Yeah, Mr. Baboon will be getting a podium here. It might be a little bit under question with that multiple points of contact there with the Ferrari of Arbiga. Arbiga, after his spin, down in 7th place behind Jinnit, behind Jinnit and Sam in the Racing Point and the Red Bull respectively. But Arbiga is going to be absolutely fuming in the Discord after this race. But actually, he's going to beat Sam M anyways on penalties by only a 10th. So a good drive, or a good comeback there from the Ferrari. And then it's Eric in 8th, having good points from the Mercedes. Mercedes are really going to need that to close down Renault, as I believe they have passed him. Actually, no, they have not. It should be a 1-point gap between Renault and Mercedes. With these current results, and then Bobby Tava in 10th, and then GP Colin, and then your champion, the person who's 2nd place in the championship. Getting into a few incidents there, I believe he had one with Fuselin down in 12th place, and then Terminal Deity, and then RC who started P4 on the grid in the Racing Point in 14th, and Soy Loco, who had also a very, very good qualifying in 15th to end out the British Grand Prix. But that one was probably a contender for race of the season there, along with Canada just a few rounds ago. But how did you see that one from your perspective?
I thought it went really well. We had some really good battles. We had some good strategy. We had guys making their way through the field. I want to shout out Jinnit for a second. Remember, he had spun out earlier, pretty early on in the race, comes back to finish in P4. Really well done by Jinnit to do that. Mr. Baboon, good job for him getting on the podium. He's down in 12th in the standings, so this will really help him in the points. Maverick, of course, being Maverick, doing Maverick things. Puff, another good solid run for him, moves him up into 3rd in the standings after being 7th a couple weeks ago, so some really good stories out of this race. But the thing that Maverick does better than most people is staying disciplined. I think he's the only one that didn't get a penalty. Great stuff from Maverick.
Yeah. Actually, Barstool down in 16th, not picking up any penalties being allowed down. But Alt Maverick, championship leader, is going to be extending his championship lead here. We're not sure by too much, but we should get into the party later for race interviews. But Alt Maverick, Puff Digital, Mr. Baboon are going to be your podium finishers. An absolute huge gap between Puff and Mr. Baboon there. And then Ryan, the tier 1 reserve, he's not going to be scoring any points. So Jinnit in 4th, Biga in 5th, Sam M in 6th, and Wolfsburg in 7th. It's Eric in 8th. Bobby, who is a tier 1 reserve, not going to be scoring any points. GP is also a tier 1 reserve. And Scavney in 9th, so he's going to be picking up 2 points. And then Terminal Deity, and then RC is going to be picking up the last points position. And then you have the Williams of Soy Loco, the Red Bull Bark School, and then the Mercedes and the Renault of Lit Romney, Hightower, and then Fuselin and Adri, the 2 tier 1 reserves in the Alpha Tower, DNFing and DSQing for those 2. But it was Fuselin who did pick up fastest lap on a 27.3, but since he is in tier 1, he would not be getting that point. But I believe it is Barsko on a 27.8 picking up fastest lap point. Actually, no, I'm lying again. It is 867. Hold on.
It might.
I think it's Jinnit actually.
Yeah.
So Jinnit in P5 going to be, or P4 actually picking up that extra fastest lap point, coming from 8th on the grid to finish P5, even with that spin, as you mentioned, and 9 seconds of penalties, beating out the rest of the field.
Yeah, great stuff from him. Bega, after the spin, still finished in P5, so good solid day for him. I think he wanted more, and we'll have to see what he says afterwards. Yeah, I'm really interested to see what Mr. Baboon has to say after that battle. That was one of the better battles I think we've had, at least when we've been doing these races. But yeah, we'll have to get these guys in here.
Yeah, we are going to take a little bit break now as we get these podium finishers into the party. Okay, party. Yep. Yeah, that's always good. I have to look at Mr. Baboon's PSN. I don't know how to spell it. Oh no, this is gonna be interesting. Oh gosh. Okay, here we go. We're gonna wing it. Is he still in the lobby, Camden? Can you tell me his PSN? Oh, an error's occurred. Oh, that's good. Okay. Yep. It's MISTR. Okay. My private school education doing absolutely nothing for me. Okay. There we are. Okay. I'll add him to group chat. But we do only have Alt Maverick in here. Puff should be joining soon enough, and as well as Mr. Baboon, I believe. I wonder if that it was his first podium finish.
It was definitely his first with us in here. I think Puff will get in here too because he asked in the Discord about interviews, so he should probably be in here. But we'll see. We'll see if Mr. Baboon gets in here. Gilzo in the chat. Damn, he almost got digital. Talking about Puff.
Yep.
He did. Puff had a pretty good race. Just had penalties.
B4. As Mr. Baboon has joined the commentators box for interviews. As we do wait for Puff, I'm going to kick off interviews with the other two that are here. So, Alt Maverick, this race was very, very crucial for you in the championship. Your championship rival Scavney finishing down in 12th provisionally. And then you picking up pole position by 10th and a half to Puff and completely outclassing the entire field. How's the race for you?
I want to say it's easy, but in a sense it was there for a bit. But then Puff was catching me there at the end, and I wasn't checking for penalties until I think like about 2 laps to go, and then it said he had 3 seconds, so I knew I had it. But yeah, it was an easy race for me. I knew what I had to do, and I saw Scavney. He was up. I think he qualified like 4th or 5th, so I knew he was going to be up there. But now that Chelmey's down in 12th, I guess this race means a lot more than what I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, Maverick, great stuff from you, man. You were on my podium, and usually guys on my podium get commentators' curse, so good job for not getting jinxed. You got a really good start, and then throughout the race, it was pretty uneventful for you. You were just kind of out there by yourself. There was a couple of moments where you were around Jinnit and a couple of other guys, but how clean of a race do you think it was for you overall?
I think I got one warning, maybe two, and I think it was on the last two laps. So in
Wow.
that sense, it was clean. Um, I caught up to Jin and I almost threw it away there. I was a bit too far back, so luckily I got the car stopped in time. We didn't hit each other. Um, and then Wolfsburg let me through, which was amazing. Let me through there before his pit stop, and um, yeah, I wasn't around anyone that whole race, so it was kind of boring, but I mean, boring races are sometimes the easiest ones to take the win at.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but now going on to the second place finisher in the Ferrari Puff Digital, you're going to be moving up into third place in the championship and going to be extending your constructors championship lead. You had we're getting very very close to the back of Alt Maverick there towards the end, but you did have a few penalties. What was the race like from your perspective?
Um, it was good. Qualifying was frustrating. I kept invalidating and then didn't time it properly, so I didn't get my final run in. But it was a solid lap. Start of the race, Maverick got away quite early. I got hit into turn two and kind of had like a little half spin. And then as I was regaining the car, I realized he was already like 3 seconds clear of me, 2.5 seconds clear of me. So the first stint was really, I was just kind of focused on managing the gap behind. I started to close a bit, nothing crazy. We were trading tenths. I think he was quicker than me in sectors 1 and 3, and then I seemed to claw back a couple tenths in sector 2, but we kind of just jockeyed for little bits of time here and there. Thought I could maybe undercut him. I don't know how I butchered that so disastrously, but he somehow gained time on me. And then I came out in traffic. Again, it was that just cost me a bunch of time too. I couldn't get past GP for a couple laps, and then I got stuck behind Wolfsburg for a few laps, and then by the time I cleared it all, I think it was around like 4.5, 5 seconds, and not short, not too long after that, I think I picked up my first penalty. So yeah, I don't know. I drove as quick as I could. I was hoping maybe if he saw the pressure from behind, it might force him into a mistake or something like that. I think I got into DRS range on the last lap, but no, it was a fantastic race from him, and yeah, I can't seem to just get him. So same thing happened in Austria, so I'm gonna have to figure something out for next week.
Just to be clear, I didn't tell Wolfsburg to hold you up, so
No, no, even if you
don't
did, I would have
don't.
I would have told Biga to hold you up, so all's fair. He was totally clean, like he didn't do anything dirty. He was just driving along. It wasn't like he did anything wrong.
Yeah.
Um, it was just that one lap, you know what I mean? I couldn't get past him, and you lose a bit
hmm
of time in that. So, yeah, even if you did, I wouldn't have held it against
Yeah.
you. Like I said, I would have used Biga the same way if it was roles reversed. So,
Puff, I had to deal with the same thing on Monday, trying to get by Wolfsburg. He's very hard to pass.
yeah,
Yeah, he
great
does a good job of
defender.
playing defense.
Yeah.
But yeah, good race from you. I think we're making it a weekly thing for us to be in the booth together on Mondays and Thursdays. As long as that keeps happening, that'll be good for both of us. But
Yeah.
yeah, the last few weeks you've been really strong, making up a lot of points in the standings. How are the tracks coming up for you? Are you a fan of the tracks coming up?
I can't remember what's after Hungary. Is it Spa and Monza?
Yep.
So we have, yep, Spa, Monza, and then Singapore are the three races after Hungary.
It's actually a pretty. I can't stand Monza or Spa. I feel like I'm
Same.
an outlier here.
Yeah,
Everyone
same.
seems to love
Seriously.
Spa, especially, and I
Yeah,
can't
I don't
stand
get
it.
it. I don't
I
get it.
don't. Yeah, I don't like Monza. Singapore, though, is. I don't know how quick I will be on the wheel, but it was my favorite track the last few years. I just love Singapore. So we'll see. They used to call me the king of Singapore in T1, I think. So I'll see if I can win that crown back. But yeah, Hungary I'm comfortable at. I feel pretty strong. But the next two, they're not really my favorites.
Oh, Okay. But yeah, now on to Mr. Baboon, who finished the race in P3, picking up, I believe, his first podium of the season. Had a little bit of contact there. Actually, not just a little bit, a lot of contact there with Puff's teammate in the Ferrari, Arbiga. How was that incident from your perspective, and how was it that undercut was actually just insane? No, no, no,
He was in here.
yeah.
Chat possibly.
Maybe just mic issues.
I think that's his mic that's going off there, unless it's just me.
Yeah, I think so as well.
Yeah. But yeah, good race from you, Mr. Baboon. Might be picking up a penalty there in the stewards chat later on in the week, but we are gonna close off this stream unless Mr. Baboon wants to say anything about his race. We got a little bit of an insight with Puff towards the next few races. So Alt Maverick, how are you guys, or how are you looking towards getting out into that championship lead and then just running away?
I feel like I'm the only one in this party that likes Spa, so I think that's gonna help. But yeah, I love Spa. I did pretty well there Saturday in LOE. And Mons is usually pretty okay for me as well. Singapore, I am hoping to be blistering quick. One of my favorite tracks on the calendar. It's another street course, Camden. So
Yeah, there you go.
Call me the street course king. So there's the last one.
Is that the gauntlet being thrown down? I'm not even going to practice for the other three. I'm just going to practice Singapore now for the next month.
Yeah, we got Puff. Puff's the king of Singapore, Maverick. So the street course king might have some competition.
Wait, I won Monaco this year. When did we crown him the street course king?
Hey, this could be the tiebreaker.
Well, I won Australia and I won Vietnam, and then I should have won Canada, but then I threw it away.
Did you win Baku too?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Well, I gotta win Singapore then. And does Russia count as a street course? Maybe I'll.
We can count it.
Yeah,
I don't even.
If you win Singapore, we'll count it.
Of course.
Mr. Ribbon, no, I couldn't hear you. You'd give me on PlayStation, but yeah, I couldn't hear you. But yeah, so we do have, I believe, EU on Sunday. You should go check out the EU races. We do have some pretty quick guys there on Sundays at, what is it? 3 Eastern?
3.
Yeah. And someone should go help out Zyg with commentary. He's been holding down the fort on Sundays. But then Tier 1 on Monday, we're going to be going to the Hungaroring for one of the tightest tracks on the calendar, is known as Monaco without the barriers. So Maverick, you can maybe win that one and count as a street course win. But yeah, Tier 1 on Monday, PC on Tuesday, and then back here for Tier 2 on Thursday evening. And then, again, as I said, EU on Sunday. But I've been Packer, and it's been Camden, and see ya.